it's hard to travel. It's not like people liked Americans that much anyway. But now, and I did some shows internationally, and I was over in Japan. Not just for a show, I was also modeling. And see, I wish that wasn't funny. I would much prefer if you were like, yeah, I could see that. But it's more like, no, never. Anyway, but the Japanese, I can say, are just better at being human. They just are, right? Like they're just more polite, they're more artistic, they're just better at it. Like the Japanese toilet, that's like a miracle, right? The heated seats, the water spritz up, and there's a fan. And that was in the Tokyo airport. Can you imagine leaving, you leave a Tokyo airport bathroom cleaner than when you walked in. Now imagine how you feel when you leave like a LaGuardia bathroom. You leave with PTSD. But the Japanese, the entire time I was there, I felt overweight, probably because I am in fact overweight, but generally the Japanese are kind of thin. There are overweight people in Japan, but not like in America. We're better at it. And because if you get really fat in Japan, they make you sumo wrestle. They make their fat people fight other fat people to entertain their thin people. And the fat people go along with it. They're like, why are we doing this? It's prestigious. It's very prestigious. You try and push that other tubby guy out of the circle while we try not to snicker. But the Japanese, very polite. They're like the opposite of my children. And every now and then, like the Japanese would look at my children, my poorly behaved children, and very politely look at me, and I would just go, "We're Canadian." Because of course we're not Canadian, but that's what some Americans do. They tell people they're Canadian, which I think is cowardly. That's why I always tell people I'm North Korean, because then I get the respect I deserve. How much attention does North Korea need at this point? Now it's like every 2 days they're like, we're gonna blow up the world. Isn't there a party that's like, then just do it? Get it over with. Can you bomb my building first? That's not funny, Jen. That's really not funny. Eileen, amazing. We all love Eileen, right? What an amazing lady. And we're all here because we're frightened to say no to her. Because she's very polite, but there's the Irish temper. We don't know. We don't know what could come out, frankly. Play bass, we don't know. She might play bass on our faces. That sounded inappropriate, I'm sorry. That was just highly inappropriate. But what can I tell you about? I love my wife. I would do anything for my wife. But you know what? I realized there are people that are more romantic. I don't know if you know this. Prince Edward abdicated his right to the English throne for the woman he loved. Isn't that amazing? He was forced to choose between the woman he loved or being King of England. And that idiot chose the broad. Now, I'm sure that was the right decision. And I'm happily married. But even in the best relationship, there are moments when each party thinks, I've made an enormous mistake. But of course, we never thought I could have been King of England. These are all messages I received from Jesus. That's too funny. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I'm kind of obsessed with not being interested in fashion. It's something I care deeply not about. All right, that's good luck. I don't know how that ended up happening. How do you drop a glass and be like, I'm sober, I'm completely sober? No, it's just it'll happen. if he brings up fashion, I'm going to throw a glass on him. But fashion, as we know, New York is a fashion capital. Every year, not just 1 week, 2 weeks, spring and fall, 2 weeks dedicated to honoring and celebrating fashion. And the earth gets 1 day, which I think lets people know that we're serious about the earth. But I know it's not for me. And by the way, I understand that not caring about fashion is actually a fashion choice. How annoying is that? It's like, oh, you're not into fashion? That means you're in a normcore. It's like, why can't I just wear clothes to cover my disgusting body? But it's not for me. It's, like those fashion shows. Fashion shows to me just look like skinny teenagers walking around in their parents' clothes looking for food. Right? They're just like, it would be easier. It's funnier when I move, but I can't move because the microphone's here. I could go over there, but that involves too much movement. All the models are beautiful, which in a way doesn't make sense, because when you think about it, they pick people that would look good in any clothing, right? Like if you want me to buy a suit, show me Michael Moore looking good in it. I'll get 12 of them. And I'm not picking on Michael Moore. I like Michael Moore, and not just because he proves you don't need to shower to be famous. You ever see Michael Moore on television? He always looks like he's been robbed of everything he's owned. It's like, dude, what, you just hit a lost and found? Don't you have an Academy Award? What happened? That sounds harsh. But he had,